Hell hath no fury like a gamer scorned, and if you cross one, God help you. Hi folks, it's Falcon, and today on gameranx, 10 gamers who went too far for revenge. Starting off at number 10, a gamer from Thailand played smartphone games obsessively. But he didn't just play them obsessively, he played them very loud too. He apparently got very into them, and one night it was keeping his parents up. Now, this man was 29 years old and lived with his 52-year-old parents, was yelling and carrying on playing smartphone games in the middle of the night, so the parents switched the Wi-Fi off, and his response was to attempt to poison them. The next morning, when the mother went down to the well to get some water to cook rice with, there were lethal pesticides floating on the surface of the water, which is not only vile, but kinda stupid. One would think that if you wanted to actually poison your parents, you would find some way that is not completely obvious. I mean, look at this picture that's just like floating purple stuff. The parents wanted government officers to take him for treatment at the hospital rather than arrest him, quote unquote, because they don't want to live in fear wondering when he would attack us again. Hopefully we do not hear about this family another time. Hopefully their lives are happy and long. At number 9, a guy named Kevin Kemp was in a online fight with a family friend that resulted in gunshots and 22 stab wounds. The victim said, "We were just talking over headsets," but apparently the argument got so intense that the 17-year-old aggressor decided, I'm gonna go over to his house and shoot a gun at him and stab him 22 times. Because, you know, we teach everyone how to cope with stuff very well nowadays. I'm gonna just quote the victim on this. "He walks up to my room and points the gun right at me, takes out the clip to show me the bullet, puts it right back in the gun, tries to shoot me, and it went right past my head, almost hit me." And what I think is funny is that he came into a room and tried to intimidate him with a gun, which he immediately shot directly at him and missed from probably several feet. Not only is our man psychotic, but he's not good with the gun. Obviously, he realized this and went to the alternate route, which was stabbing the guy 22 times. He was rushed to the hospital, survived, and the 17-year-old attacker was tried as an adult. I mean, honestly, just a wild incident. And proof that playing video games with guns in them doesn't make you good with a gun. I mean, he missed him from several feet. At number 8, a gentleman playing League of Legends in a Chinese internet cafe became enraged by his teammates who were not as skilled as him at the game. Apparently, he was quite gifted, and those among us who are significantly better than our peers know the rage that this can generate. The frustration with the less skilled. I mean, who among us talented elite haven't busted our head through a computer monitor in a public place after our teammates aren't as good as us? I can point at exactly one gentleman who has definitely done that. It's this guy, because that's what he did after his team wasn't as good as him. He legitimately put his head completely through the monitor too, and got stuck in it. In fact, it injured him pretty bad. He was bleeding. But I don't know if that's even the weirdest part about it. I particularly like if you look at all the other people playing video games in the internet cafe while the man shoved his head through a monitor. They just don't care. They just keep playing the game. At number 7, a guy who lost at Call of Duty swatted the guy who won against him. Now, if you're unfamiliar, swatting is when you call the police and attempt to describe a situation in which they would roll in guns drawn towards whoever you're targeting. In this case, the loser of this Call of Duty match used Skype to call the police of Long Beach and said, "I just killed my mother and I might shoot more people." He gave the address of the person who beat him at Call of Duty, and the police rolled up, full SWAT armor, guns drawn, ready for a fight. Luckily, no one was killed. There are incidents of this where people have been killed. This is not one of those incidents, but can you imagine caring about a video game that much? And I don't mean like a video game you're competitively playing in a tournament for hundreds of thousands of dollars or something. Just, sitting in your house playing a game. Oh my god, this guy beat me. I should endanger his life. At number 6, an angry gamer playing against the owner of the Game On store in Knightley, West Yorkshire in England. To give some context of what happens when people lose at soccer/football, there tends to be riots in that country. Anyway, he lost at FIFA 17 against the Game On store owner and destroyed the Xbox One in the store that they were playing on. Now this probably wouldn't fly in the US. The owner would absolutely call the police. This customer was apparently a regular customer, and again, remember that soccer/football is a source of regular violence in the United Kingdom. The owner just let it slide. He's like, it's football/soccer if you're from the United States, which these guys aren't. Didn't call the police, didn't make them pay anything. Just a regular reaction to losing in soccer, or football, as the UK people know it. At number 5, a man in Florida stole a PlayStation 4 game, so his 2 friends that he stole it from, also from Florida, killed him. They weren't particularly good at showing that they didn't kill him, and that their new roommate came home to see them trying to stuff his body into a plastic garbage bag. Kind of an open and shut case. They weren't even 100% sure that he stole the game either. They believe that he broke into their home over the weekend and stole it. Keyword there, believe. You ever thought somebody slighted you so you killed him over a PS4 game? Well, these guys did. They stabbed him multiple times with a 7-inch chef's knife. When you get caught in the act, you generally don't get away with it. So they got arrested, and yeah. Hope it was worth it to avenge that PS4 game. And number 4, a couple of fans of a streamer with about 60,000 followers swatted him and resulted in 10 armed police officers entering his house. So he was playing his game and had to leave the stream for a few minutes. It was obviously quiet for a while, and after that he came back to explain what had happened. An anonymous caller had called in claiming that someone at the address had shot their roommate and was pointing their gun at them, and then played 2 gunshots on the call, like gunshot.wave, and then hung up the call. So they showed up, busted into the house, pointed their guns at everybody, and yeah, fortunately nobody was hurt. Like I said, people have gotten hurt from these. People have gotten killed from these. Now this was absolutely ridiculous, but they went ahead and attempted it again an hour later. The police are like, no, we get it. We understand what you're doing this time, and called the streamer to let him know that it had happened. That's pretty wild though. Like, I'm glad it seems like less of these are happening currently, because for a while there, this was a big thing. And number 3, in terms of real-world consequences, this one isn't quite as big. I mean, there is some real-world consequences because EVE is a game that some real money is typically tied up in. But back in 2013, a gentleman was playing against another player who essentially declared war on him, said, "I'm gonna harass you out of this game," and did it for several months. I mean, he wasn't able to make the other player stop playing, but he tried, and he made the other players several months in the game suck a lot. The target said, "I don't know how or when, but the day will come that I will find you and take all your stuff." This was in 2013. Then in 2017, 4 years later, after this player got better and joined a corporation in the game, he saw this other player that harassed him and attacked him through the game was looking to join a new corporation and schemed with this corporation to take all his stuff. In the end, what they ended up doing was get him into the game, faking some political drama that got him to teleport to a certain place with all of his stuff, and that place had the original victim there with an entire fleet of ships to totally annihilate him and take all of his stuff. Again, not insane real-world consequences, but it is going a bit far, because this would have taken an extreme amount of organization, and therefore time. At number 2, a guy was playing Grand Theft Auto with his brother online 50 miles away, and apparently his brother wanted to give him a little bit of grief. He killed the first brother's online character, and that enraged him to such a degree that he drove 50 miles to threaten the second brother with a baseball bat. The second brother decided to call the police and inform them that his brother had come 50 miles to threaten to murder him with a baseball bat because he'd killed his Grand Theft Auto character. Apparently, on his his way up, he was texting him saying, "I'm going to kill you." It goes on from there, but I suspect it will sound like some kind of a threat of violence, and the YouTube algorithm doesn't like that, so I'll probably just stop there in quoting him. But yeah, all that over a Grand Theft Auto fight, I guess. And finally at number 1, somebody who basically did the same thing but followed through on the threat. This time they were playing Counter-Strike, and rather than just drive 50 miles to a person that he knew, this guy spent about 6 months trying to find this person who killed his online character in a knife fight, went to his house and stabbed him to death, because the other guy stabbed him to death in Counter-Strike. Bit of an overreaction. Anyway, that's all for today. Leave us a comment, let us know what you think. If you like this video, click like. If you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week. Best way to see them first is of course a subscription, so click subscribe. Don't forget to enable all notifications, and as always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter, Falcon the Hero. We'll see you next time right here on gameranx.